We're here with Brother Captain Anthony Tony Holder, the recipient of the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award for 2023. Brother Holder came to Omega through Alpha Chapter on April 18th, 1970. He was number 28 on the 70 line at Alpha Chapter. Brother Holder's from the Bronx, New York. He served as the line vice president, the dog captain, and was the assistant DP in 1971. The line name was Freeze's Rolling 28. Thanks for joining us today, Brother Holder. What does it mean to be the 2023 recipient of the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award?
Brother Ledbetter, after 50 years of being involved in aviation as a pilot and engineer and everything else like that associated with the award, I'm very humbled by the fact that the Federal Aviation Administration has vetted me and chosen me to receive this award. Very few African Americans have received this award, and it just so happens I'm receiving this award during Black History Month, so that's significant in that regard also. They're looking at me and saying that I was worthy to be considered a aviation pioneer to join the ranks of a few people that's ever received this Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award.
How did you end up on this career path from the Bronx, New York?
Well, this career path really began for me when I was a little boy. Growing up in the housing project I grew up in, at that time in the mid to late 50s, my role model or model for flying was Superman. I personally had no experience whatsoever, never been on an airplane, never been to an airport, didn't know anyone involved in aviation whatsoever. It was just funny that Superman was a black and white movie or a TV show at the time, and I used to watch it as a little boy. And like other little boys, I wanted to emulate that. So one day I just went to my mother's closet and got one of her best linen sheets and cut it up into the shape of a cape. Got me a box of crayons and drew the Superman S emblem on it and tied it around my neck and got into the window frame of the apartment building I lived in, opened it up, I jumped out the window. Brother Ledbetter, it's a good thing we lived on the first floor instead of the 7th floor. I didn't know any better. I'm about 8 or 9 years old, and I'm thinking I'm going to fly. So that was really my first initiation into flying. So that's how I started out, pretending that I could fly like Superman, jumping out of windows.
And then academically, can you just tell the viewers, the path that science and technology path that ended up, that they would need to be a pilot?
Well, when I came to Howard University, to be honest with you, I was an alternate student in case somebody else didn't come. They said that we'll let you in case somebody else drop out. And with the caveat is if you come, if you get in, you can be an English major. If you had to enroll in English, they figured that would be the easiest path for me. When I got to Howard, I was fortunate again. I was blessed that one of my roommates was a engineering scholarship student. And when he went to register, I registered whatever he registered for, the same exact courses. He took Army ROTC, and I took Air Force ROTC, which got me into the path of aviation. So that's how I got into engineering and began the math and science and everything else like that.
And what does it mean to be an Omega man earning this grand honor?
Well, there have been many Omega men before me that have blazed the pathway into aviation. I can name several of the Tuskegee Airmen that have been Omega men. I look at Major Robert Lawrence, who was an Omega man, who was in the astronaut program before they were even considered astronaut. He had been chosen, but because of the color of his skin, he never got to go up in space during the first cadre of astronauts. So, and he eventually died in a plane crash while training to enter the program. So as an Omega man, I'm just following into the paths or following in the footsteps of other Omega men that led the way just before me.
And what do you have to share for the future African Americans who may want to be pilots?
Well, nowadays it's a lot easier. Well, I shouldn't say easier, but there are more opportunities than when I came along. I was one of the few black pilots that were in my group. In fact, we started with 60 guys in my class, and I was the only person of color in my class to finish and graduate. Out of the 60, only 30 of us finished, and I managed to get through the program. I would tell the other people behind me, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the time. Okay? Always be professional. Always try and do your best each and every time. Whenever you fail, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again. Eventually, you're going to succeed.
That's great. I want to read the description of the award. The Wright Brothers Pilot Award is the most prestigious award the FAA issues to pilots certified under Title 14 of the Code of the Federal Regulations, 14 CFR, Part 61. This award, named after the Wright brothers, is to recognize the individuals who have exhibited exemplary aviation expertise, distinguished professionalism, and steadfast commitment for at least 50 years of piloting service, or 50 or more years combined experience in both piloting and aircraft operations. Congratulations to you, Brother Holder, on this great award.
Thank you,